I think most of us spend our lives trying to do the best we can for other human beings. Am I right? It's the essence of UU principles. We do this based on what information we have or what we assume about others. And without actual info, we don't often know what someone else is going through. We're just interacting the best we can with whatever we could figure out about each other. Sometimes our assumptions are spot on, and sometimes they're way out in left field. Wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to assume what other people are going through? So with that thought, I'd like to share with you two stories that are food for thought for us this morning. So my first story in 2019, it was the last autumn before COVID. I was fortunate enough to take a trip to the other side of the earth. It was to Bali, and I went with my dear friend Marisol, who's one of the closest people in the world to me. And we chose Bali for several reasons. One, due to its sacred culture. Two, its beautiful beaches. And three, it's the really only affordable place down in the South Pacific to vacation. And let me tell you, just about every one of us would go to Bali on a bet, except for one thing that would keep most of us from going. It's the 24 to 30 hour flight in each direction to get there. Now, everybody except for Eddie would probably be uncomfortable with that. But Eddie's our amazing pilot, so I'm sure he's more comfortable in so much time in a plane and probably a lot more spacious in the cockpit. Anyway, so after 2 full weeks exploring the extraordinary beaches and temples in Bali, we began our voyage home. The first leg of our trip was about 10 hours from Bali to the UAE, where we had a 4-hour layover in the United Arab Emirates. And so by the time we were at the layover at the gate, we were already exhausted from this trip. And while we were there, there was a Middle Eastern family with a son who was pretty young, I'd say 4 or 5, and the mom had a hijab on. And so I could tell the culture. And the little boy was having a meltdown. He was screaming, fussing, crying. And this went on for hours. Now, you could probably imagine what I'm thinking at this gate while I'm waiting. And I'm thinking, oh boy, can't this mom calm down this little boy? Why can't she quiet him down? I know my Middle Eastern mother would not have allowed me to fuss. There would have been some way she would have quieted me. But it didn't happen there. And the other thought was, oh God, please don't let them sit near me on the plane. What will I do with all that crying? So we boarded the plane. And of course, the family was seated in the same aisle, right down on the right from me. And they were a little closer to me now than they were at the gate. And I was able to glance down to the right and see the little boy a little more clearly and the mom. And it dawned on me that this little boy was struggling with some kind of challenge or disability that was not clearly visible. And all of a sudden, everything completely shifted in me. And I went from, feeling impatient and resistant to all of this and feeling like a complete feeling of compassion for this boy and for his parents and his family. And as I glanced over, the mother and I caught eyes. And she looked at me almost apologizing, and I don't remember what my gesture was, but it was probably something like, no, I feel for you. And the mom, then made another expression of thanks, or recognizing it. It was a very warm exchange, but I never forgot it. And it was amazing that once I realized the boy was struggling, my selfish frustration was replaced with compassion. The disability this boy was experiencing was invisible. Another story I wanted to share is a few years ago, my very dear friend, one of the closest women in the world to me, her name is Joyce, had a bout of bladder cancer. Thank God she's recovered now and she's doing really well. But part of the challenge that she was going through is that her need to use the restroom was very frequent and often immediate. And one day she was in a public venue and there was a long line at the women's room. And so she went from that line to the handicap line because she couldn't wait. And as she stood right by the door, there was somebody came behind her and said, you can't be on this line. You're not handicapped. And, really, you got to go over there and get on that line. You don't have a right. And Joyce explained to her, look, I'm right in the middle of bladder cancer treatment and chemo and this and that. I have to use the restroom, and this is what's going on. And, it was uncomfortable, but that was the interaction. And it was because Joyce was experiencing also an invisible disability. So what brings us to today's conversation and the sharing of these stories? Well, I'll tell you a little of what brought this up to us today. So this year I was attending a women's event, and it's related to the advertising and printing industry, which I've been a part of most of my career before ministry. And this year, a woman was attending, started to share about an initiative that was very different than the typical business initiatives that we're all a part of. And this was women's only. And she started to share that she was leading the launch of the Hidden Disabilities Program for North America. So of course we didn't know what hidden disabilities were. People were flooding her with questions. And this is a little bit of what I found out from her. And she shared that a hidden disability could be autism, it could be Asperger's, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, brain trauma injury, diabetes, cancer, epilepsy, rheumatoid arthritis, mental health conditions, visual and auditory limitations, and an array of different other disabilities, and that 1 in 10 people in the United States has a hidden disability. And then she went on to explain that in Europe, a process had been established that would allow people who chose to identify themselves as having a hidden disability, it would allow them to do so. And this would signal others around them that they may need additional assistance in some way, including compassion and support. So how many of you know someone or are someone with a hidden disability? You could raise your hand. How many? How many? Just about almost everyone. Someone in your family, someone you know, a friend. Well, today we are fortunate enough to have Lynn Smith with us. She's the woman I had met at that event. And I'm going to introduce her formally and invite Lynn to share with you a little bit about this initiative and what we can learn and what we can do. So to introduce Lynn, Lynn is the Hidden Disabilities Program Director for North America. She's been involved with the program for the past 2 years, creating awareness, managing products, and distribution of these, and helping companies implement these throughout their organizations. You know, in America, this is where things get launched. It gets launched through corporations and through partnerships of those sorts. So please, Lynn, please unmute yourself and welcome. And thank you for being with us. And everyone, if you want to give her, I know we can't hear you, but if you want to give her a little applause and a little thank you for coming and taking time out of her Sunday from her home up in Massachusetts to be with us today. And I'm going to mute myself, Lynn, and I'm going to hand this all to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. I feel blessed that you would take the time.
If you could speak just a little louder.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me turn this up too. Okay. Is this better? Thank you. I am extremely blessed to be here today, and I really appreciate the opportunity to introduce this program to everyone. It's relatively new here in the United States. It had been introduced back.
If you could just try to be a little louder, if there's something you could do for that, that would be great.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope this works better. Just checking the guys down there, making sure they don't jump. So this program started about 5-6 years ago in the UK, and it was actually started. And thank you, Sonia, for that wonderful story about the airport, because that's how it started, was in travel, and it started out of Gatwick Airport, where they realized they did a lot for people with visible disabilities, but nothing for those who needed it that you couldn't see. So they begun this program to actually have a self identifier that will tell people you have something going on and just provide a little more time or kindness and patience with me. So I'm going to play a little video that kind of describes the program, and then we can kind of talk about ways that you can help or get involved or just help spread the word. We're at the point here now where the program just needs to be recognized. And the more people that know about it, the better. You guys are lucky in that all the airports around you, the big three New York airports, including Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, they are all part of the program. So when you do fly, or if you know someone who's flying that has some kind of hidden disability, they can get one of the symbols on these wearable products and bring that to the airport. It doesn't guarantee you any fast access or fast track through the gate or through security, but what it does do is it lets people know. And if they were trained properly, and if they see you're in distress, they probably will come and help you and get you through the line faster. So let me play the video that describes the program. I'm going to share my screen for a moment and pull this up. Does everyone see the screen? Oh, I can't see you to see if you see the screen.
No.
Okay, let me try that again. Second. Okay.
Yes.
I'm now sharing. Thank you.
Some disabilities are hidden and not immediately obvious.
I'm trying to make it a little bit bigger for you. Hold on one sec. There we go.
Some disabilities are hidden and not immediately obvious. So you may not recognize that someone has a hidden disability, nor understand the challenges they can face in their daily life. The Hidden Disability Sunflower helps by discreetly indicating that the wearer has a hidden disability and may need additional support, help, understanding, or just a little more time. So if you spot someone who has chosen to wear the sunflower, please be patient and ask if you can help. And don't forget to always be kind and show respect. The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program, making the invisible visible.
So this program is now in 18 different countries and over 140 airports. There are 35 airports that are on this program today. So, back here. Oh,
Some disabilities.
sorry. So the sunflower, just so you know what the products look like. So when you spot them, you can see here are all the airports it's at. This is what the product looks like. And this is what the symbol is. It's a bright yellow sunflower on that green background. And that means that the wearer or someone in their group may have a disability that's hidden. A lot of times they won't be able to get, if there is an autistic child, they will not to be able to get them to wear the lanyard, so the mother may wear it. And that's an indication that someone in the group is has some kind of non-visible disability that they're struggling with. So this product has been extremely successful and it keeps growing and growing. It was a little bit difficult to get the word out during COVID, but now that things are opening up, we see more and more businesses are adopting the program. And as things do run in the United States, things all come through businesses. It's a great way to get people on board and to get the word out. We have a number of Amazon fulfillment warehouses have adopted the program for their workers. We have a number of cities for travel agencies that have adopted the program. There's most of them are on the West Coast. Visit Mesa, Arizona, visit Vacaville, and visit Viziali. And they're the Redwoods in California, Mesa, Arizona. So when these cities adopt the program, all of the restaurants, the hotels, the transportation areas all recognize the sunflower. So it's a great place to go if you have somebody that has an invisible disability and want that support in your travels. So more and more cities are coming on board. We have a city in Utah that's coming on board next. So as the word gets out, more people are joining the program because that visual indicator does flip the script for people. You do become a little bit impatient sometimes with people, or you have a different assumption running through your mind. And, you know, Sonia was smart enough to recognize it with that mother on the plane. But if she had had that symbol on, others would have recognized it too once they know what it is. And the UAE is one of the places that it is very strongly recognized in. So it's unfortunate maybe she didn't have it on or the child didn't, but at least the airlines would have recognized it as well. But it started in airports. There's such a stressful situation when you go through an airport, you go through a security line, and it really tends to bring out some of the more stressful times for people. So that is the program, and that's what we're looking to do. So any kind of company that you may know, you know, your friends, if you see it, you're traveling through the airport and you recognize it, just let people know what it is. Just share what the program is.
Thank you so much, Lynn.
Sure. I will stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I think, thank you for inspiring this conversation and for sharing this freely in your life and doing this work. It is, I think it's very much in alignment with what we do and the principles of this organization and Unitarian organizations. We advocate for those that need a voice to advocate for them. And I think this is something we, as a community, will examine and see how we could help more, and maybe how we can even adopt it ourselves. Maybe introduce it to other Unitarian congregations.
That's fantastic. And just so you guys know, there is a website, and I can give you a link to that. And on the website,
Mhm.
it gives you stories from people with different conditions and disabilities, and it describes how this has helped them
Mhm.
and the benefits that it has brought to them. It gives you a place where you can order the products if you are not able to get it out of business, that gives them out for free. Anybody can wear it, no questions asked. And I've been told by others that do wear it, when they see somebody with it on as well, especially at like a college university, they feel a great sense of community. So
Mm.
they don't realize, they don't know what's the disability of the other one, but they do recognize that they both have something, and it makes them feel not so alone.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn. If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.